So I thought I'd make a video about professional video editing packages on Linux. Now it's very interesting. Linux is sort of grabbing a lot of the gaming headlines at the moment, even though most people don't know this. With SteamOS, SteamOS seems to be proliferating across the PC sector, purely the games, but obviously underneath that is Arch. I think it's Arch Linux. So in the future, you could obviously have a Unix box in your house and you didn't even know it, and you would have a lot. You could do editing on your Steam Deck potentially. I don't know. I mean, if they release the OS so it works on desktops better, I'm sure a lot of people will jump on that, and from that we'll have a lot more editing in Linux. Anyway, so I'm going to look at 4 packages. When I say professional editing, there's certain caveats that you need to fulfill with professional. If you're going to deliver to broadcast, I'm not talking about making stuff for YouTube. If you're going to deliver to broadcast, you have certain things you need. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at, and this is a bit of an oddity, I'd never heard of this before. Where's my downloads? It's a thing called, let's double click it, Cinelerra GG. Now it's free to download and you can have a look for it. It's incredibly complicated in here. I mean, I've been editing for a long time and you've got everything in here that you could need. However, it does have, I mean, you know, everything's there, media in, let's load some media, a load of file. And I'm going to load in a TV commercial I made in a different package. And down here it's loading strategy, just apply. See that in there now? Okay, so there's the clip. I put it into the timeline like normal. And there it's a commercial, demo commercial I made. And the clock, there we are. It's ProRes, so it can play ProRes. So basically what this is built completely around, I believe, FFmpeg. So anything coming out of this, you can't send to broadcast because anything FFmpeg is not, it's basically, FFmpeg is an encoder and it's not certified ProRes, and I don't think it's certified Avid DNX. And they're basically the 2 main ones you need for delivery. There are some other ones, but they're very, they're very difficult to do. AVC or something you can do it, but I don't think you can do it out of this. Over here, file, render. What have we got? We've got over here, we've got select. There it is, file format FFmpeg. What have we got in there? We do image sequences, software MPEG, PNG. Got a lot of ways out of this. Render tracks, render project, beat when done, pen new tracks, get rid of that. So it's very fully featured. Export EDL, you've got subtitles, you've got all sorts in here that you can do. I mean, honorable mention obviously for this, you can, what's that, map 5.1, you can do an awful lot with it. I'm not sure about its actual proxies, proxy settings, and you can proxy in material. I mean, one of the problems with FFmpeg is this as well, until someone obviously writes it. Got some red material, red Raptor, and let's try and put in a red file. Let's apply, see if it goes in. Nope. So you can't load in any of these sort of raw formats that come off the big production cameras. You can't get that in there. But yeah, I mean, it's free, it's worthwhile. I mean, you can go out, so you can edit completely, let's have a look what we've got here. Let's have a quick look. What tools have we got? All sorts of tools. Hang on a second there, let me just, there we go, cut. Found it, sorry for the delay. So we can cut at that point with the playhead, cut there. Strange, I can't remember which package you used to do. Some of them you can't select the stuff in the timeline. I'm not sure how you select things. Let's try that. Delete it, nope. So yeah, I mean, great, amazing. It's got all sorts of HTML manuals. Currently, click to try, what's that? Yeah. Okay, I mean, it's pretty comprehensive, but obviously from professionally, I don't know if you do, I'm sure you could do tons of videos on here. It's got DVD and Blu-ray rendering built into it as well, which is great. So you could do all sorts of stuff, but you couldn't really do, I don't think, anything for output to broadcast from this. I think that would be problematic. So there you go, it's called, let me just quit. No, I don't want to save that. So that's CineGG, you can download it as an app image. You can download an app image if you're distro, and then you basically just make it executable and it just runs from there. So that's brilliant. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is a thing called Kdenlive. There it is. Kdenlive. Now, this has been around again for ages. It's much more, what's the word? It's much more well known, I think, than that Cinelerra, I can't even pronounce it, Infinity version. In port, where we go add a clip to folder. What have we got? Canon file, Canon CRM, and no, can't break that. It can't do it. It's put just the audio in. Let's try add another clip. Let's try something else. Go up a level. Let's try red. That's that one. Try that one. Can you take that? Okay. See if we can bring red in. Nope. So, I mean, you are sort of limited there. You can't bring in some of the big footage. Add a clip or folder. Let's just try basically ProRes, see if that can come in. ProRes, where's my commercial thing? Let's try that one. Okay. Success. Okay, we've got it brings in ProRes. Okay, that's great. So let's put that in the timeline. And it's the standard 2-up display system up here. You've got in and out points. I'd imagine in mark in. Is that mark in? Here we go. Go up to there, mark out, and then is it grab and pull down? Don't know. Oh, you've got that one. Oh, that's quite clever. That's great. You can pull down the audio only, or just pull down the sound. So there's got a lot of actually. This one, Kdenlive, it's pretty. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's got a lot of the. What do we have there? Start render, preview render, stop preview render. It's got a lot of these sort of tools. It's got compositing, it's got some effects, it's got clip controls, it's great. Undo history. What do we got over there? Logging of different panels, it's like Premiere. Editing, and then we've got audio, a layout, okay. Effects layout, what have we got in that then? Well, we've got loads of bits over there. And then we've got colour. For colour grading, we've got some scopes, nice to see scopes, look at that. Okay, let's go back to editing. How do we get footage out of here? How do you get footage out of here? So let's do drop down. Stop render preview. Manage data cache. Composite, normal mode, bin, file, tool, clips, timeline, monitoring, settings, help, file. We've got transcode clip, what's that? Adjusting timeline open IO in and out. That's quite new. View project. How do we get that out of there? Render. Okay, so how do we get it out? What can we put it out as? What formats can we get? Generic HD for web and mobile device. Lossy HQ. Hardware accelerated experimental. Lossy HQ, high quality. So you've got, again, FFmpeg. Image quality. Generic HD for web. I mean, obviously it's brilliant for web. This is great for delivering stuff for YouTube. Amazing. But I don't think you could do anything really for nothing on here that would go to broadcast. You can't see it. But yeah, so that's quite fully featured actually. It's got everything over here. You know, we've got scopes, we've got speech editor. Please install speech recognition. Interesting. It's got AI features. Configure. What have we got? What have we got? Auto detect, whisper. So it's got some pretty cool things going on in here. But yeah, you can't deliver it. You can't get it out for broadcast. And what I mean for broadcast, you've got to go ProRes or have a DNX or something like that. Cancel. So that's Kdenlive. That's really good. I mean, it's free. You know, it's really good. It's pretty standard interface for editing. Looks like you've got absolutely everything in here. Some really basically like well-known stuff. Someone's been looking at Premiere obviously when they made this. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Can't use it for I can't export for broadcast rate, so I can't really use it. So let's have a look for something else. Do not save. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Now this has been around forever. This is Lightworks. Now Lightworks is really interesting. The first two I've shown you are free. This isn't. You can get a free version and play around with it, but if you want the powerful features, you have to pay £19 a month. Now, for what you get, let's call this test project. I don't know. I think it's absolutely brilliant value. If you want, you can buy a perpetual license for £300, but I've been playing with this and it does everything. So let's bring in some Red Raptor footage in here. Actually, let's bring the Komodo. Let's bring in the Komodo, see if we can bring that in, import. There we go. And we've got some Komodo footage in there. So you can actually, you can bring in red. Let's see if we can do Canon files. Canon, CRM. No, it doesn't like the look of that, does it? So it's got some support there for raw footage. Let's bring that ProRes file back in, import that. That's ProRes. And so yeah, so you've got quite a bit of support there for the top end codecs. You can bring in, it looks like you can bring in, I know you can bring in Avid, I've got some Avid DNX in here as well. I know you can bring in Avid DNX on this, and you can bring in ProRes, and you can bring in this. You can't bring in Canon RAW. I don't know if Arri RAW or anything like, you can't, I'm not sure what you can bring in with it. But that's great. So what we've got up here, source, transitions, loads of those, video effects, audio effects, bins. This is very like Avid, or a lot of them have got bins. They've all got bins, but if it's Avid, bins is an Avid thing. That's great. And what are we going over here? We've got cues. I don't know what that is. FX settings. Okay, framing position. And we've got an export panel. What are we going here? So we can go out to all the way up to 8K DCI. Jesus. Portrait, square. So you can do portrait. Social formats are in there. That's great. And you can interlace, PAL. Okay, that's great. So what codecs we've got? We've got H.265 standard, Cineform, Avid DNX HR. Now, you have to pay £50 license to get the Avid DNX HR. But now look at this. It's got both the formats for broadcast delivery that you can use. And Cineform. Cineform's wavelet compression. That's very, very good. And they go uncompressed. So yeah, you could probably do it in this. This could go, I'm sure you could do this. This is quite an old package, not old package, it's an old editor. They actually made Pulp Fiction was edited in Lightworks. And I know of a couple of films that have been done in it as well. It's been around for ages. Very, very capable. But I mean, you know, it's paid. So you're going to step off there. There is a free version that you can do YouTube stuff with. That's great. But there we are. It's got all sorts of effects. That's Lightworks. I recommend that one a lot. That's a great bit of software, VFX. We've got there a VFX lineup. 74, we've got a tab across the top and log. Okay, logging is what obviously bringing in your footage, edit. Yeah, so I quite like that. Lightworks is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, and the final one is the beast, DaVinci Resolve. Now, there's two versions of DaVinci Resolve you can get for this. You can get the studio version, which I've got, which is what I work on. And then there's a lightweight version. The lightweight version doesn't have the neural engine capacity. And you need basically a chunky graphics card. I mean, with all of these, you need a chunky graphics card. But here we go. Now what? Now this has been around for years. It was originally just a color correction tool, and it was like it's the industry standard for color correction fundamentally. But as it's grown over years, they've brilliantly kept a Linux version going. Great. They've given it always it's in parity with the main release. So this is 19.1.2, so this is absolutely brand new. And there's two versions. There's the free version where you can't do certain things and you can only export into certain formats because there's obviously licensing deals with MP4 and all this sort of stuff. However, if you do have, if you've got a chunky NVIDIA card, you can encode out an AV1 or the NVIDIA have got built-in MP4 encoders, so you can use those, so you don't need to worry about that, you can do it. Anyway, this is the studio version, it's 200 odd quid, but it's worth the money. You get everything. So you've got their rapid edit area, their quick editor, their main editor. You've got Fusion. Now, when anybody's looking for some kind of Adobe After Effects replacement on Linux, this is it. It's immensely powerful, and I do know people who've used this. And they would never touch After Effects again. You can basically do everything After Effects can in here. Then you've got the bit that it originally became famous for, which is the color correction section. And then you've got Fairlight built in, which is a massive audio thing that you can do your audio stuff in. And it's got some incredible features. If you do get the studio version, you get the AI capabilities, the neural engine part of it as well. Then we've got the delivery tab at the back to get it out to all these formats up here. But then you've got a drop down, and we've got Avid DNX HR, which is broadcastable. You can't get ProRes out of this version. However, there's a big version with the panels. It's the big desk. And if you use that on Linux, you do get the license to do ProRes. You can't buy the license. We've got everything there. H.264, H.265, absolutely everything you could ever want. I mean, I've got a bit of a cheap workflow because I need sometimes to deliver in ProRes. You literally render out of this in Avid DNX, put it into Lightworks, render it out in ProRes, because Lightworks can take in Avid DNX and render out ProRes. So yeah, so there you go. You've got 4 really good, 2 free ones, pretty good editors. You've got 2 paid ones. So you could fundamentally, the state of, when people make these videos, the state of editing on Linux. The state of editing on Linux is brilliant. You've got benchmark industry tools here, and you can create whatever you want. So yeah, so have a look. If you fancy getting a Linux installation on a machine, it's brilliant. I can't tell you how happy I am. I've got Mint running on my old Mac 5.1 with an RTX card in it. It's really powerful and really, really useful. Anyway, enjoy. Have a go at editing or something.